welcome to Seeing Through Glass. Welcome to the latest adventure in my new Jaguar F-Type R. I'm on my way down to Graz in Austria, where I've actually got a presenting gig in a couple of days. I've chosen to drive and not fly, because flying's a bit of a disaster at the moment, and I've been looking for any excuse to take this new F-Type to the Alps. So many of my memories with my original F-Type R Coupe with driving it on mountain passes, so I cannot wait to do the same with this car. I've got a 6 or 7 hour drive that I need to crack on with today, south into Austria, so whilst I do that, I'll quickly catch you up with what I got up to yesterday, because on my way down here from London, I stopped off at a couple of cool places, the first of which was Mechatronik. I've wanted to visit Mechatronik for ages. They're an incredible Mercedes specialist, so I thought whilst I was in Stuttgart, I'd finally pop in to have a look around. They specialise in all kinds of Mercedes, classic and modern road and race cars, but they also make their own resto mods, putting modern V8s and updating components in the iconic Pagodas and W111s. Whilst there are amazing cars everywhere, I actually ended up spending most of my time drooling over the cars in their showroom, which strangely included a Lamborghini Diablo GT that I got far too excited about. I'm actually not sure I'm thin enough to sit in these seats. This must be ridiculous to drive on the road. I've got this insanely slanted windscreen. It feels like the front of the car is about 16 foot in front of me. Then I peer around my shoulder and notice that I've got this hunking great V12 behind me. This tiny little steering wheel completely offset. Oh my god, okay, new goal for the channel. Drive a Diablo and don't die whilst doing it, because high probability you might. Oh. One of the coolest Mercedes ever made. Yes, of course, the SLR Sterling Moss. Now these days we've got the Ferrari Monza, the McLaren Elva, the Aston Martin Speedster. This thing so ahead of its time. I mean, just look at the seat inserts, all the lovely carbon fibre everywhere. You've got a Sterling Moss signature there on the centre, but also, if I open this up, which I always forget how to do, there we go, there is another Sterling Moss signature just there on the inside. Unbelievably cool, and look at how extreme that is to step inside. You've got to really get up and over that huge carbon side sill, but it's a very, very special, very rare and very cool thing. And whilst the SLR isn't necessarily fantastic to drive on the road, I would love to experience one of these just to see what it's all about, and to do something like the Mille Miglia or take it on a bit of an adventure like that, it's got to be fairly special. So yeah, nuts to see. Look at this now. SL65 Black Series. For some reason, it's a bit of a unicorn car for me. I've always been super intrigued by this thing because of the idea that it's so bad, it might be good. We all have to start speccing brighter, more colourful interiors on all of our cars. Okay, this is extreme. I thought the Diablo had a punchy interior. This is another level, and you know, you've got to be a brave person to pull this off, but if you can, do it, because it's absolutely unreal. Even the floor mats, even the carpets, look at it all. Racing fans, do not worry, I wasn't going to skip these cars. You are looking at, I'm pretty sure, a 1997 CLK GTR, one of the coolest endurance race cars ever. And yeah, looking pretty spectacular in the iconic D2 livery. Next to it, an unreal DTM car. I had underestimated how unique these cars are. They are essentially complete crazy carbon prototypes. I don't know, is it open this? Let's have a quick look. Oh yes it is, oh how amazing. Look at that in there. I mean, there is nothing road car going on about that interior. You've got this unbelievable seat with these beautiful inserts, which is a lovely sort of Mercedes detail. Look how far out the steering wheel is back towards the driver, who's sitting kind of in the middle of the car. Got the roll cage, got all the kind of switches. Completely unrealistic to drive on the road. Would be epic to drive on the track. I just love the looks. For me, it's just all about the way this thing looks, and as I say, especially in this iconic livery. So yeah, after being amazed by those Mercedes road cars, Seeing these two next to each other, I mean, my day's been made. It was absolutely mega to visit Mechatronik. I really want to get back there at some point, maybe drive one of their resto mods or just check out more of their stock, because they do have lots of other exciting stuff hidden away. But anyway, you join me now back in the present, and I've just arrived in Degen there, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, because for no real reason at all, this is one of my favourite lakeside towns in all of Europe. I've been coming here for years, it's featured in my content quite a few times, and so yeah, considering I was going to basically be driving past today, I thought it was a good place to try and stop for some lunch, and so I could sit down and watch a bit of F1 action. So yeah, we're cruising alongside the lake now. I'm going to try and find myself a nice restaurant. I'm not mad, am I? That's a 360 pedaler, isn't it? Oh my god, that's the coolest thing. How do I rent that? I mean, I have lucked out with this location. Check this place out, right by the lake, the perfect place to catch up with the F1 and enjoy a schnitzel. Yep, whenever I'm in Germany or Austria or Switzerland or really anywhere, I always choose the schnitzel. Dankeschön. Well, that was bloody delicious. And I don't say that lightly. With the amount of schnitzel that I consume, I feel like I've become a bit of a connoisseur. That meat was perfectly tender and the potatoes were nicely crisp. The jam was spot on. It all just came together to, really hit the spot. Now, lots of you ask me, how do I watch F1 when I'm traveling like I was just doing? It's because I use NordVPN. Now, you've probably heard me talk about NordVPN before. Been using it for like 5 or 6 years, ever since Casey Neistat talked about it when he was daily vlogging. And these days, they very kindly support this channel. If you don't know what a VPN is, it's a virtual private network. It ensures your safety and your security when you go online. With the amount that I travel, I'm endlessly logging onto random public Wi-Fi networks, like at the restaurant I was just at, or at my hotel, or even at some dealerships. When I do that, I never know who might be looking at or even trying to steal my information. So I've always wanted to have a VPN active, and NordVPN really are the best in the business. But over and above that, they also allow me to enjoy watching F1, because in the UK, I watch F1 on Sky Sports, but when you're traveling, Sky don't allow you to access their coverage. So I simply set my location to the United Kingdom using NordVPN and trick Sky into thinking that's where I am. That way I can watch all the free practice sessions, qualifying, the race, etc. when I'm on the road. As I mentioned, NordVPN amazingly now support this channel, even though I've already been using it for however many years. They do that by offering you all a super exclusive deal if you sign up using my link, nordvpn.com/STG. If you use that link, you can also get a deal on the entire NordSecurity Bundle. So once again, nordvpn.com/STG. Sign up and protect yourself when you go online, but also ensure that you can continue to enjoy your favorite sports when you're on the move. I think I might have timed that alfresco lunch perfectly, because there's a little bit of rain in the air now. So as I continue to head south into Austria on the hunt for some good driving roads, let me take you back to yesterday once again, because after my visit to Mechatronik, I headed to the Porsche Museum to catch up with the team there and check out some pretty cool cars. There's no... Oh my god, I'm gonna get cramped. Can I sit on this?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, that helps a bit. Oh, you know what I should have done? Either bum in first. No.
Take your shoes off and jump on the seat.
We safe, but imagine doing this quickly during Le Mans.
Yes. Yeah, okay, they can get the steering wheel out.
Okay. Whoa. Oh, my head touches. I wouldn't wear a helmet.
Yes. I don't fit as well, so...
This is awesome.
Yeah. And let me just... The feeling. Now imagine driving that on the road.
Yeah. Can you imagine driving this down the road? Got a little gear lever here. This is legit. I mean, you talk about a homologated race car. This is it. Now, the team from Porsche tell me that it's actually quite easy to drive on the road, but I don't believe it for a second. But yeah, oh my God, how outrageously cool is that? It's carbon fibre doors, carbon fibre everywhere. I mean, look how big that sill is.
Yeah, now, yeah, that's right.
Turn up to Casino Square. Okay, woo!
Backing up is also fun. Parking, like...
Yeah, manoeuvrability. You need a whole like support car, don't you, Lou? Like a butler. Welcome to the inner sanctum of the Porsche Museum, the workshop. This is where all the cars that get displayed upstairs or a part of the sort of Porsche Museum collection are maintained or worked on. If you ever see a Porsche Museum car at Goodwood Festival of Speed or Monterey Car Week or any iconic car event around the world, it's probably been worked on in this very room. Now, I've got to be honest, I wasn't expecting to drive anything during my visit to the Porsche Museum. As I mentioned, I was just going to catch up with Benjamin from the social team. And let's face it, sitting in a GT1 was definitely enough of a highlight already. But then he asked if I wanted to go for a quick drive and offered up the incredible Ruby Star Red 964 RS, which had been sitting in the workshop the whole time. Naturally, I said yes. Well, everyone, meet Benny from Porsche. We're going to call you the social media guy from Porsche, Benny.
Yeah, that's okay.
He has very kindly brought me up here to the old Solitude Grand Prix circuit. This used to be a Formula One track back in the day, right?
Yeah, until the mid-60s it was a Formula One and motorcycle racetrack, and it was public road and still is.
Essentially, you can still drive the entire circuit, and actually you can still see the pit lane, the sort of paddock complex, and the starting gantry, what would we call it? Timing gantry, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's still there. It's almost the same track, the same road. There are minor changes, like a roundabout, for example.
Yes. Traffic lights.
Traffic lights, yeah.
Now, you guys might remember I've driven a 964 RS before, but very briefly on a very straight road in the Netherlands with Tony from Gravelwood, which was a disaster. So I'm super pleased to be back out here now, throwing this thing around some corners, and oh, it takes corners well, and oh, look at this. Imagine this in a Formula One car from the 60s. It would have been outrageous. All the greats you can think of came here. Fangio, Moss, Stewart, and now Seen Through Glass.
And Benjamin.
And Benjamin, sorry, I shouldn't have forgotten. Very important co-driver there.
You have to imagine, back then up to 300,000 spectators were sitting around in the forest, in the woods, and watching the race.
Oh my God,
there was no other chance to watch the race than just walk through the woods, sit down somewhere, and have a look at crazy Formula One cars driving.
And the noise echoing off these trees must have been insane. Oh, by the way, mate, this car is lovely. When you flow with this car, it's so nice. It feels really like rock solid on the road, right?
And that's what the Carrera RS is all about from my perspective. It's a light, pure car with not too much horsepower, 260 horsepower, but due to the fact that it is light, pure, very mechanical, as we would say in German. You can hear everything, every gear shift, and everything is just right behind you. Yeah, it makes you feel driving something much quicker than you actually do.
It's a rewarding driving experience, and actually I'm finding this far more rewarding than when I drove it in a straight line. Helps that it's beautifully sunny. Lovely Benny sitting next to me, and we're on a Grand Prix circuit. I mean,
the only but might be the missing air condition.
Yes, I didn't know whether to bring that up or not, but it's not not cold in here.
No, definitely not.
I will say that I'm sweating with excitement. This just comes from the pure joy of driving this car. Wow.
I'm sweating because of your driving.
No, don't say that. You can't say it. I've been very smooth. Come on. Well, I'm sure you'll agree, Benjamin's a legend, and the Porsche Museum is awesome. Huge thanks to him and his whole team for allowing me to get behind the wheel of a 964 RS once again, especially this time. Well, I was going to say in anger, but a little bit of anger. Anyway, that brings you sort of up to date. You're back in the present day with me in Austria, the primary destination of this trip. Unfortunately, it's raining. It's pretty grotty out here actually. Because it's a Saturday today, the roads have been busy. The last few days, roads everywhere have been busy. It's been getting me down quite a bit. But I've just ticked over 2,500 miles in this car already. I only picked it up a few weeks ago. But I told you I was going to be using it a lot and doing many trips in it. And I'm being true to my word. So yeah, not scared of putting mileage on this thing. And I thought I'd just quickly reflect on those first 2,500 miles with this car, which is predominantly be doing sort of long road trips, GT-esque journeys. And yeah, it's been fantastic. I love having this panoramic roof. Oh, it's so nice because it's not as noisy as the convertible with either the roof down or even when the roof was up. So you're nicely cocooned on a longer road trip. But yes, you have the benefit of all of this additional light and taking in the views when you can, which I really adore. Fuel economy has been spectacular. I think on the main motorway stretches I was doing around 34 mpg, and to put that into some kind of context, I never saw over high 20 mpgs in my RS6. I never broke into the 30s. So this is already more economic when it comes to fuel than the Audi, which is kind of crazy. And over and above that, yeah, I'm super happy. I saw a few comments from people saying, oh, why didn't I go for a tan interior? One thing I learned with the F-Type R convertible is that you get tan up here and it does reflect quite badly in the windscreen, especially if you're doing sort of big sunny road trips. So that's why I went for the black. I'm really happy with this spec. It's not really anything that I would change if I'm honest. So anyway, I'm going to carry on 20 more minutes to my hotel, and then yes, bright and early tomorrow morning we'll be up for what will hopefully be, oh my god, fingers crossed, a quiet and sunny day on the top of what I think could be one of Europe's greatest driving roads.